Hi, it's Mr. Harder.
And Kelsey Klatt, your OT. And today we are going to make a Jello dirt pudding dessert with the gummy worms on top. So we will need a mixing bowl, a measuring cup, a spoon or a whisk, something to stir up all the stuff with. And then you'll need one small box of chocolate instant pudding, milk, Cool Whip, which is optional. And then for your toppings, we have Oreos and some kind of gummy worms, which are both optional as well.
And as we go through the activity, we have different instructions and steps on how to make the dirt pudding. So we have the written out steps, and then we have little visuals that we've included with the activity as well.
So the first thing we're gonna do is you're gonna take some Oreos. I just put a small stack of Oreos in here into a Ziploc bag. You're gonna close that Ziploc bag without the air. And then now you can actually smush your Oreos. You can use your hands or you can use a rolling pin or whatever else, but I'm just gonna use my hands. If your child doesn't like the filling, you can also scoop that out as well if you don't want to have the white cream on top, but I'm just gonna keep all of that on and smush it. So this is a really good activity, especially working on closing those bags. A really good functional task, so they can learn to close those, but it's also working on that 2 or 3 point pinch. And then just working on gripping and squeezing, so a lot of fine motor strengthening going on as well.
And it's also a good opportunity to work on different action words. So you can work on squish and push and crunch. So you could do that verbally, or you can go, if your child has a device, you can go through the different actions and kind of talk about what you're doing with the Oreos as well.
And you can go for big chunks or all the way into crumbs, however you want it. So I'm gonna put this aside for now. And now we need our mixing bowl, and we are gonna mix all of our stuff together. So the first thing we need is we're gonna put the chocolate pudding mix in.
And this is a good opportunity for your child, if they can't get the bag open independently, to kind of sabotage or set up an opportunity for them to ask for help. So they can say, I need help, or help please, or just help depending on your child's ability level.
And this is a good opportunity too to work on a lot of pouring, scooping, dumping type stuff, opening of containers. So now we're gonna open our milk. I just got a small one for this activity. And we need 2 cups of milk. So I'm gonna pour.
This is really good for measuring. So just working on having your child being able to measure is a good foundational skill as well for them to kind of build in as well.
And here's 2 cups. And then again, working on fine motor tasks. So putting the lid on, manipulation skills, twisting the lid on and off. Those come into play with a lot of our functional skills. So when we're working on putting the toothpaste lid on and off, any kind of lid, water bottles, things like that. So this is really good to get that extra practice if you can. And then next, if you are gonna use Cool Whip in yours, you are gonna use just about 1/3 of the container. I'm just gonna do 1 big scoop. And then we're gonna put that lid back on. And this is, again, really good too for being able to find things around the kitchen, identifying where objects are located. So where you keep the spoons, the bowls, milk goes in the fridge, wherever you keep your pudding, any of your other stuff too. So now we're just gonna stir everything together.
So like what Ms. Klatt was saying earlier, this is a good opportunity to work on, stirring and kind of doing those, labeling the different objects that you're using, or even the WH questions, such as where do you find milk? What do you use to stir with? Those kinds of questions to kind of build some of those language skills.
And one thing that's good to keep in mind too is encourage your child to use 2 hands. So holding the bowl with 1 hand, and then stirring with the other. I know a lot of times we like to keep that other arm down at their side, or, it's our instinct to grab the bowl for them. But those two-handed tasks are really important, as we're learning to do any activity. A lot of our daily tasks require two hands, and that's something some of our kids struggle with. So two hands as much as possible. So I'm still stirring just to get that mixed up and to get the Cool Whip kind of broke down. And you can just use regular pudding too, or if you don't like chocolate, you can use whatever pudding you want to use. I think vanilla would work just as good. And it's good to let the pudding sit for a couple minutes, let it thicken, and then stir it again. We're not gonna wait that full time now, but.
And this is a good opportunity too, if you have other children at home, to kind of have roles. So you could have your one child put in the pudding mix, and then have one child put in the milk, and then the next child, stirring. So just having them practicing, taking turns, and just being able to be flexible so that everyone kind of has a role in the activity. And then with the visuals that we have provided for you, you could go through and cross off the steps as you go. You could even have your child, if they're able to really understand the visuals, they could, do it themselves, crossing off those steps so they know what has been completed, and then they know what to expect for the next step, and then just going through each sequence that way.
Perfect. And like I said, our pudding's still kind of thin, so you'll want to let it set, but just for time's sake, we're just going to scoop a little into the cup so you can see just how the rest will work.
And this is good to working on following directions, so you can work on put the pudding in the cup, so working on just those one-step directions. You could even do like before and after, so you could say before you get the spoon, get the bowl. So just working on some of those more advanced directions.
So now that you have your pudding, again, really great task to work on scooping and dumping that into the cup. You can go ahead and add some of your toppings. So next, you're going to sprinkle your Oreos on top, however much you want. And this is good too, if you have your Oreos in the bag still, working on open up those bags. That's great practice. And then putting your worms in. You can have your child grab for the worms using a 2 or a 3-point pinch, depending. So if you want to practice those fine motor skills, those are great for holding utensils, our toothbrush, things like that. So I'm just going to sprinkle a couple on top.
And you can even have your child, or ask your child, giving them choices. So you could say, do you want 3 gummy worms or 4 gummy worms? And just providing those choices throughout the activity as well, so they feel a little bit empowered and feel like they're having a choice during the activity.
And then you have your Earth Day dirt pudding dessert. Awesome.
We hope you guys enjoy it.
Thank you guys.
Thank you. We'll see you guys later.